Hello, welcome to the Album Man. Today we're going to be doing part 3 of my Q&A. So let's begin. First question is from Danny G683, a long-time subscriber, and he asks, what turntable do you use? Well, it's made by a company called Jewel, and I don't really know what model it is or anything specifically, but it's one of the better sort of budget turntables you can get out there, and seem pretty damn good for its price, to be honest. And also asked, do you like Swans? Yeah, I really do indeed. I absolutely loved To Be Kind last year. That was definitely, I think it was in my top 10 albums of 2014, which actually really surprised me, because the first time I listened to Swans, I was not very impressed. I think the first song I listened to was Toussaint Louverture, and I found that a very difficult song at first, and it was just like, what even is this? This is stupidly long, kind of drony and really crap. But then throughout 2014, I sort of listened to To Be Kind more and more, and it really started to grow on me. And so I remember in about November, I just listened to both discs all the way through in one sitting, and it just clicked. And it was just a fantastic experience, and I now love the album. Unfortunately, the only other album I've heard is The Seer, which I really like. I think To Be Kind at the moment is my favourite, but I've only really listened to The Seer the once, and being it's such a long album, so much music, I can't really form much of an opinion on it based on one listen, but I really need to explore more of the stuff, to be honest, and I'd certainly love to see them live sometime. Robbie Walker asks, what do you think of the Smiths, Jeff Buckley and George Ezra? Well, I've never listened to George Ezra, so I can't comment on him. The Smiths, I absolutely loathe. I can't stand Morrissey. He annoys the living hell out of me. I dislike their music. I think Johnny Marr's a pretty decent guitarist, but I find very little redeeming about the Smiths' music, to be honest. And Jeff Buckley, I think his debut is a masterpiece, and I really wish he'd lived to do more. Such a talented guy. And of course, his version of Hallelujah is just one of the most beautiful things ever recorded by anyone. Wonderfully talented guy, and it's such a loss. He also asks, do you like any rap/hip-hop? Well, rap and hip-hop really isn't my thing. The main thing I don't like about it is just the vocal delivery. It really just doesn't appeal to me, generally. But that doesn't mean I don't listen to any of it and try and get into it. When I hear albums being critically acclaimed in the rap and hip-hop department, I do try and listen to them and try and see what people like about them. I do it with albums of all genres. If they're being acclaimed, so let's see, well, why is it? What is it that people see in this? But there is a hip-hop artist that I actually do really like, and that is Death Grips. I think Death Grips are absolutely fantastic. Really innovative, interesting band. MC Ride has this really aggressive style, and the band is just like the most metal hip-hop thing ever, without actually trying to like infuse rap into metal. It just is so aggressive and in your face, like a song like No Love or something, just pummels you with like audio terrorism, and I just love that aspect of the band. Particularly, I really liked Jenny Deaf. I thought that was really good, particularly On GP. On GP is one of my absolute favourite songs of the year, with that distorted guitar melody, which is really cool. I mean, Death Grips don't use a lot of guitar, but I love it when they do, and it's just this beautiful but also heavy and weird song. Really do listen to On GP, even if you don't like rap and hip-hop, usually, as I don't do. But I mean, other stuff, you know, I've tried listening to Kendrick Lamar's, I think I said in a previous part, which I really didn't like, to Pimp a Butterfly. I listened to L Sweatshirt as well, didn't like him. Lupe Fiasco, didn't like that either. So, no, it's not really my type of thing. Max Scardinelli asks, what's your opinion of the legalization of gay marriage across all 50 states in America, dude? Well, it is damn about time. I mean, I think every country's been so far behind in this legislation, but I'm really pleased that it happened. It's absolutely awesome, but there's still a long way to go with gay rights, and there's certainly many countries which have absolutely appalling gay rights, so people shouldn't rest on their laurels and celebrate it too much, because there's still a lot of work for that community to be done. Slacker101 asks, are you a theist, deist, or atheist? I am very much an atheist. I first became an atheist, I remember when I read God Is Not Great by Christopher Hitchens, still one of my favourite books, and there's an awful lot, very controversial, and certainly someone I don't always agree with, certainly politically. I just love that book, and it really sort of it just made me think, because I used to be quite actually a devout Christian when I was a kid, but it made me just really think about the beliefs, my belief system, and whether it really was valid, and I came to the conclusion that, well, no, it wasn't. Buck Cherry Fan asks, is there any cover songs that you think are better than the originals? Yeah, there definitely are. I mean, we talked about Jeff Buckley before, and said his version of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah is just one of the most beautiful things ever recorded, and miles better than the original. Jude Bonamassa Slow Gin is one I talk about loads and loads. The old Tim Curry song, revamped it, one of the greatest guitar solos I've ever heard. Hendrix's cover of Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower, and Guns N' Roses' cover of Bob Dylan's Knocking on Heaven's Door. I know there's some people you always see on the comment sections of videos on like Knocking on Heaven's Door and Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower, like, oh, Dylan songs, how come Dylan songs are always better when covered by other artists? And I certainly would not agree there, but there do happen to be some bloody good covers of Dylan songs which are better than the original. Johnny Cash's Hat is a cover which I kind of love equally to the original. I wouldn't say I like it better than the Nine Inch Nails version, because to me they're both so different, they're almost like two separate songs, because the tone and the emotion being conveyed by Trent Reznor is very, very different to what's being conveyed by Johnny Cash. Yeah, it's using the same words, the same core melody, but they're so, so different and miles apart in what they convey. I think that's the brilliant aspect of that song, and Johnny Cash's interpretation is beyond stunning. B.B. King's The Thrill Is Gone, my favourite song from him, rest in peace, and Arthur Brown's I Put a Spell on You, the old Screaming Jay Hawkins song. That's definitely one I'd recommend checking out. I suppose I'll conclude with the Beatles' Twist and Shout. That's a really fun song. Heavy Metal Corner 666 asked, I'd like to know what your 3 favourite heavy metal album covers are. Ooh, that's a tough one. I really don't know what I'd say my 3 absolute favourites. I mean, as I said, I love rock artwork, and that's why I've started the series Rock Art, which will be continuing soon. But if I had to pick 3 metal covers that always particularly stick with me, one of them has to be Dio's Holy Dive. Unfortunately, I don't actually know who did the artwork for that, but I think it's an incredible cover. On my patched denim jacket, I have that as the back patch, because not only is it just so iconic because that album is so wonderful and it's just so Dio, but I love the artwork. The devil with the chain just like on a priest and whatever, who's like swimming away. It's just so, so cool, and ever since I first saw it, I just knew I remember, because when I first got the album, I didn't know anything about Dio really. Holy Dive was the first Dio album I ever had, and just seeing that album cover just made me want to listen to it. Just like, wow, this is amazing. Another one would have to be Iron Maiden's Number the Beast, probably, which I have just here. I mean, a lot of people prefer Power Slave as far as Iron Maiden covers, or some people would say even Somewhere in Time or something, but I've always loved Number of the Beast. Again, maybe it's just because of the music that I love that album cover so much as metal artwork, but I also think it's really just a genuinely cool cover. And then more recently, a heavy metal cover that I love is Celtic Frost to Megatherion, and that's because I'm a big fan of H.R. Geiger, of course, designed Alien, and it's just a wonderful artist. Did album covers for Emerson, Lake and Palmer with Brain Salad Surgery, which I can definitely tell you is one we're going to be covering in my rock art series. Morgan Davis asks, number 1, have you heard the new Status Quo acoustic album? If so, what do you think of it? And if you haven't, will you listen to it at some point? I have to say I haven't listened to it. I don't know if I will anytime soon. A Quo acoustic album just doesn't appeal to me that much. It sounds a little dull, and I haven't really listened to much Quo that recently. I've kind of gone off them a little bit, but I still like them, but I can't say I'm really in a rush to check out that album. Number 2, what Genesis period is your favourite, Gabriel or Collins? And what is your favourite album from that period? Far, far and away, Gabriel era Genesis. I don't actually like Collins era Genesis very much at all, aside from like Trick of a Tale and the Seconds Out live album. They're really strong. But my favourite Genesis album, favourite Gabriel era album, has to be Foxtrot. Just Watch of the Skies and Supper's Ready alone make this an unbelievable album. But of course, very close behind has to be Lion Lies Down and Selling England by the Pound. It's very tough because so many of the Gabriel Genesis albums are so good. They're also Nursery Crown as well. So tough, but I just about have to say Foxtrot, mainly because of Supper's Ready though.